The year was 2147, and Earth was a shadow of its former self. Once a vibrant blue gem teeming with life, it was now a patchwork of crumbling cities and barren wastelands. The air was thick with the scent of decay, and the skies, once clear, were now perpetually gray. But amidst the ruins, there was still life, fragile, stubborn, and hopeful. In the heart of what was once New York City, a young boy named Kai played among the rubble. He was 9 years old, with a mop of unruly brown hair and eyes that sparkled with curiosity. Kai didn't know the Earth of old, the one his mother, Dr. Ilara Voss, often spoke of. To him, the cracked asphalt and rusted skyscrapers were his playground, and the stories of green forests and blue oceans were just that, stories. Ilara was a scientist, one of the few still fighting to restore Earth's ecosystems. She spent her days in a makeshift lab, tinkering with machines that could purify water and grow crops in toxic soil. Kai admired her more than anyone in the world. To him, she was a hero, a beacon of hope in a world that seemed determined to extinguish it. But even heroes have their limits. Ilara's face was often lined with worry, her hands trembling as she worked late into the night. Kai could sense her fear, though she tried to hide it. "Mom," he asked one evening, as they sat under the dim glow of a makeshift lantern, "do you think we'll ever see the stars again? Like in your stories?" Ilara smiled, though her eyes were sad. "One day, Kai. One day." Little did they know, the stars were about to come to them, in the most terrifying way imaginable. It began with a sound, a low ominous hum that grew louder and louder until it shook the ground beneath their feet. Kai looked up, his eyes widening as a massive ship descended from the clouds. It was unlike anything he had ever seen, its sleek metallic surface gleaming in the dim light. The ship was enormous, blotting out the sky as it hovered above the city. The Galactic Empire had arrived. Panic erupted as people fled in every direction, their screams echoing through the streets. Ilara grabbed Kai's hand, pulling him toward the safety of their underground shelter. But Kai hesitated, his curiosity getting the better of him. "Mom, wait. I just want to see, Kai, no." Ilara's voice was sharp with fear, but it was too late. The boy slipped from her grasp and darted toward the ship, his heart pounding with a mix of excitement and terror. What he saw next would haunt him for the rest of his short life. The Empire's soldiers, tall, armored figures with cold, mechanical eyes, marched through the streets, their weapons glowing with an eerie light. They showed no mercy, cutting down anyone who dared to resist. Kai watched in horror as a group of protesters was gunned down, their bodies falling to the ground like ragdolls. And then it happened. A stray energy blast, meant for a fleeing civilian, struck Kai square in the chest. He didn't even have time to scream. His small body crumpled to the ground, his wide eyes staring up at the sky as the life drained out of them. Ilara found him moments later, her heart shattering into a million pieces as she cradled his lifeless body in her arms. "No, no, no, no," she sobbed, her tears falling onto his pale face. "Kai, please, wake up," but he was gone. The Empire's envoy, a cold and calculating figure, approached her. "Collateral damage is inevitable in the pursuit of order," he said, his voice devoid of emotion. "Your planet will submit, or it will be destroyed." Ilara looked up, her grief hardening into something far more dangerous. "You took my son," she whispered, her voice trembling with rage. "You will regret this. I swear it." Kai's death became a rallying cry for Earth. The news spread like wildfire, igniting a firestorm of anger and grief across the planet. For the first time in decades, Earth's fractured nations put aside their differences and united under a single banner, vengeance. Ilara emerged as a leader, her quiet strength and unwavering resolve inspiring millions. She poured her grief into her work, developing weapons and strategies to fight the Empire. But the road to war was fraught with challenges. The Empire was a formidable foe, their technology far superior to anything Earth had ever seen. Their ships were faster, their weapons deadlier, and their soldiers seemingly unstoppable. Every battle was a bloodbath, every victory hard-won. But Earth refused to back down. Ilara's grief was mirrored in the hearts of every soldier, every scientist, every civilian who had lost someone to the Empire's cruelty. They fought not just for survival, but for justice, for Kai, and for all the innocent lives that had been taken. Just when it seemed like all hope was lost, a shocking revelation changed everything. A defector from the Empire, a high-ranking officer named Commander Yarrick, contacted Ilara with a message: "The Empire has a weakness. And I can show you how to exploit it." Jarrek's betrayal was a turning point. With his help, Earth launched a daring attack on the Empire's flagship, a massive vessel known as the Eclipse. The battle was fierce, the skies lit up with explosions and the screams of the dying. In the end, it was Ilara who delivered the final blow. Standing on the bridge of the Eclipse, she faced the Empire's leader, a cold, calculating figure who had ordered the deaths of countless innocents. "This is for Kai," she said, her voice steady as she activated the self-destruct sequence. The Eclipse exploded in a blinding flash of light, its destruction marking the end of the Empire's reign of terror. The war was over, but the scars remained. Earth began to rebuild, its people united by the sacrifices they had made. Ilara stood at the forefront, her heart heavy but her spirit unbroken. One evening, as she stood on the roof of her lab, she looked up at the stars, clear and bright for the first time in decades. "We did it, Kai," she whispered, her voice trembling with emotion. "We showed them what we're made of." And as the first green shoots began to sprout from the barren soil, Ilara knew that Earth's future was finally beginning to bloom. This story is a tale of loss, resilience, and the unbreakable spirit of humanity. It reminds us that even in the darkest of times, hope can prevail, and that the bonds of love and justice are stronger than any empire.